Hello, hello. Can we rely on our foundation to provide sun protection? In today's video, I'm going to put several foundations to the test. If you've been with me for any length of time, you may be aware that at age 62, I love skincare. And I do consider a dedicated, standalone SPF to be a vital part of my skincare routine every single morning. Not only for the health of my skin, but let's face it, I am trying to prevent and minimize and delay wrinkles and dark spots as much as possible. You can see I have big, beautiful windows in my house. You can see how happy my plants are with all the natural sunlight. And I was recently reminded of the power of the sun when I moved an area rug and I could clearly see where the sun had bleached the floor that was not covered by the area rug. And even on days where I don't have specific outdoor activities planned, I'm doing errands, I'm walking Bosley around the block, I'm getting the mail. I just feel that all the treatments and night creams and serums in the world will be time and money down the drain if I'm not doing everything I can to protect my skin from sun damage. But I must be living in a bubble because I recently had a couple of conversations that not only surprised me, but that inspired this video. 2 different conversations with 2 different people who said that they were relying on their foundation for this sun protection. So let's put some foundations to the test. The first thing to be aware of is that in the United States, SPF is regulated by the Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, as a drug, as a medication. And as a drug, SPF does have to pass certain standardized tests to validate that the SPF rating on the package is in fact accurate. And yes, this does include SPF in cosmetics. So that's good news, right? That means we can trust the SPF on the label is the SPF we're getting on our face, right? Let's take a look at some foundations. First up is one of my favorite foundations. It is the number 7 Lift and Illuminate, a gorgeous foundation. It does have broad spectrum coverage, which you always want to look for. Broad spectrum means it covers against UVA, aging rays, and UVB, burning rays. This does have chemical filters, and my preference is mineral filters, but that's just my personal preference. But this only has an SPF of 15, which is far below the recommended minimum of 30 on a daily basis. So I absolutely would not rely on this for my sun protection. Next up is a L'Oreal foundation. This is the L'Oreal True Match Lumi. A little bit higher SPF at 20, and broad spectrum, but once again, too far below the recommended minimum of 30. But here is my Kosas Revealer Skin Improving Foundation. Broad spectrum, and it is mineral, which I love, and it has skin loving ingredients, which I love, and it is an SPF of 25, pretty close to the recommended minimum of 30. So let's get some of this on the face. Give it a good shake. And I am going to start with a pump. So I am going to get this on my face. I have no foundation or sunscreen on. I do have a little concealer, mascara, and lipstick. Otherwise, just my skincare. Okay, a little bit on this side. Okay, so that is blended in, and I didn't even use the whole pump. So the question is, am I getting SPF of 25 from the less than 1 pump I already put on my face? Here's the kicker. Like I said earlier, SPF in foundation is considered a drug, and as a drug has to pass certain standardized tests. And the way they test this, the amount they test, and I'm reading from the FDA site, is they applied the sunscreen in the amount of 2 milligrams per square centimeter. Now, that mathematical equation is way beyond my abilities, and that will be a slightly different amount for every face. But it is generally accepted to mean 1/4 teaspoon for the face and 1/4 teaspoon for the neck to achieve the SPF of 25 that's listed on the label. So let's measure. So I do have a standardized kitchen measuring set. This is 1/4 of a teaspoon. How much of the Kosas is required to get 1/4 of a teaspoon? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 pumps of the Kosas to achieve 1/4 of a teaspoon to achieve the SPF of 25 on the label. Now you saw earlier I applied less than 1 pump and it looks very nice on my skin. Can you imagine if I put 5 pumps on my skin? So let's do the math. If I only applied 1 pump and the SPF is 25 and the requirement is 5 pumps, I literally have an SPF of about 5. That is not enough for me. So what if your foundation has a much higher SPF? One of the foundation lines that boasts a 50 SPF rating and it uses mineral broad spectrum is the IT Cosmetics line. And I have the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Foundation SPF 50 broad spectrum mineral. Lots of people love this. I'm going to take my foundation off and we will put some of that on. Now, I usually don't use wipes to cleanse my skin. I only use wipes for swatches, but in the interest of time, I want to get the foundation off quickly so we can try the IT Cosmetics on. All right, so let's start with a pump of my IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Foundation. Same thing, I'm going to apply this with my fingers. Okay, foundation, no foundation. Let's get the rest of this on. My gosh, I sort of forgot how much I like this foundation. It has really, really good coverage. Once again, I used less than a pump, and I probably could have gotten away with much less foundation, but I was sort of trying to use that pump up. Okay, so how many pumps of the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Foundation is required to get our 1/4 of a teaspoon? 1. I got to get my glasses on again so I can see what I'm doing. So I've already done 1, 2, it's a little thicker, 3, I'm going to tap it down, 4, tap it down. Gosh, I could even get a little, okay, I think I'm almost out. That was 4.5. 4.5 of the IT Bye Bye Foundation to achieve the SPF of 50. So for easy mathematics, I'm going to call this 5 pumps. And you could see that I applied less than a pump. So if 5 pumps is an SPF of 50, I got an SPF of about 10 with my foundation. Again, far, far below the recommended minimum SPF of 30. Now I'm going to take one for the team here, and I am going to apply this to my face so that you can see exactly what foundation looks like if it's going to give us the full SPF protection. Oh my gosh, I really didn't want to do this, but like I said, I'm taking one for the team. I'm not even getting it all out. This is going to be messy, you guys. Okay. Ugh. You guys, there is no way I am ever going to be able to blend all that foundation is. But that is what is required in order to achieve the SPF of 50 that is listed on the label. Not a good look. All right, I had to get that gunk off my face, so I just went off camera, redid my skincare, and I did apply one of my favorite tinted mineral SPFs, and that is the Dermatology Physical Mineral SPF 44. It is tinted, it is mineral, it is broad spectrum. It takes about 4.5 pumps of this to achieve the 1/4 of a teaspoon to get the SPF of 44, which is on the label. And so it really hasn't had time to totally dry down yet. I did touch up my concealer. I added a little bit of blush, a little bit of lipstick, and I did try to powder the SPF down so it's not quite as shiny. But in about 10 minutes, when it has time to set down, it will look really pretty on my skin. I don't have any foundation or other tinted complexion products on. Anyway, back to the topic at hand. I hope this video has demonstrated that it is virtually impossible for us to apply enough foundation to achieve the SPF that's listed on the label. At best, SPF in foundation might be a small bonus, but I actually feel like SPF in foundation is more of a marketing claim that does more harm than good because it gives us a false sense of security. You know how some YouTubers love testing and reviewing and sharing foundations, Foundation Friday, that type of thing? Well, I love finding, testing, reviewing, and sharing SPFs. So I have a whole SPF playlist, which I will link in the cards and the description box below. Lots of videos, and I'm also going to list some of my very favorite SPFs, mostly mineral, some hybrid, some combo, but I really love having an SPF wardrobe, SPFs that I love, that I look forward to wearing, that feel good on my skin, that look pretty on my skin. So if you're looking for a good SPF, check out the description box below. And please, please, please share some of your favorite SPFs so that we can all learn from each other. Anyway, I hope you found this video helpful and enjoyable, and if you did, please remember to throw it a thumbs up. That really helps support my channel, and I very, very much appreciate it. And with all that being said, I hope you have a beautiful day and a wonderful week, and I hope to see you in my video next Sunday. Thank you. Bye. It requires 1, 2, is almost more of a marketing term to give us a false sense of UVA are the burning rays. Now, 5 pumps at best, which means it's covering both UVA rays and UVB rays. Think of 5 pumps to get